obviously, Hibs. Let's first talk a little bit about Hibs. Um, how did you get that connection, and now that you signed on for another year, how are you feeling about just what's on the horizon for you?
Yeah, we're just coming off a big win, we just won the league, it's a big achievement for me and we're gonna try and do the exact same thing we did last year to this year.
Yeah. Now, obviously, it's a big achievement winning the division and everything. There was a period where you caught on fire, scoring goals. You couldn't stop, and then and then all of a sudden, every once in a while, it dries up. But you were still a threat. What were you doing differently this season, or towards the end of the season, that kind of you know made you more of a target person?
I just put all my energy into football, when Hibs said that they're gonna offer me a contract, I was purely focused on football. I wasn't focused on anything else. I wasn't focused on school, on anything, just purely football and training and trying to better myself.
Yeah, there was a big buzz around the club itself because Hibs were doing so well in the Scottish Premier Division as well.
Yeah.
So, what was that like for you all season? I mean, people are now recognizing Hibs per se.
Yeah, the whole club has had a successful season. We just claimed European spot for under 18s and for men's first team, and the women's first team just won the league as well. So it's a very successful season, and the environment's just really positive.
Yeah. So what do you do for your downtime now while you're in Bermuda, and then you gotta head back sometime soon, don't you?
Yeah, I head back on the 18th. I'm just down here for about a week, just seeing family, catching up, and obviously still keeping up with my training and stuff like that.
Right. So take us through what the plan is for preseason, because you at the end of the season the coach always sits down and talks to players about what they're looking for next season and so forth.
Yeah.
What goals has been set for you by the club first?
There hasn't been any set goals yet. We haven't had that conversation yet, but obviously we're gonna try and do the same thing. Win some leagues in European. I mean, not leagues. Win some matches. Some European matches, and potentially win the league again. And maybe score more goals than I did this season.
Yeah. Now, how excited were you? Because there was always a lot of talk, especially as Hibs were doing well, and you guys were doing well, and including one or two players in that first team, even not necessarily in the starting lineup, but just being the environment.
Yeah, it was definitely a good chance for my teammates to make it to the first team. Obviously one of my teammates made his first team debut back in January. It's a great example for how far we can go.
Yeah, yeah. Now, do you put any added pressure on yourself, being that you guys, you battled Rangers right down to the wire kind of thing? But you obviously want to sew things up a lot earlier,
Yeah.
getting a good start to the season. How do you plan out your preseason? Because like you said, you concentrated wholly on football, but there's other things out there. But what are your plans for the summer as when you get back? Obviously, it's preseason training and so forth.
hmm
But what are you personally setting out for yourself?
I'm setting out on I'm trying to get my footwork sorted because I know that I've been a little bit off with that this season. I'm just trying to get all my weaknesses, trying to better my weaknesses and all stuff like that, and trying to bring up my confidence as well.
Yeah, and that's a big thing. Confidence in your game and confidence in. Do you think obviously the position you were playing in, did that suit your style of football?
It was definitely a big change for me, but it wasn't that hard to get settled into it, going from a defender to an attacker. It was pretty mentally challenging for me at the start, but then once I got the hang into it, it was quite easy for me.
Defending is one thing, scoring goals is another thing, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
It's a big feeling. You
Yeah.
get that feeling when you block a shot, but you get a good feeling when you score goals.
Yeah, definitely.
So at the end of the season, how many goals did you finish with?
I think it was 13 goals. I think it was.
Okay.
13 goals and 8 assists.
So,
I think it
so,
was.
so playing in that position higher up the field for a full season,
Oof.
you're looking to at least get more than
At least 20. At least 20. At least 50. Why not?
And the funny thing is, because now you're one of the players that teams kind of look out for because you're a threat with the ball, whether you're in goal scoring positions or creating.
Yeah.
How does that change your mental state of what you want to do once you're in possession of the ball?
Once I get that ball, all I want to do is score, or at least set up my teammate to score, because that's all basically football is to score goals, and because that you can't win games without scoring goals.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. What's one of the other than winning the league, obviously, and qualifying for Europe? What would you say, looking back at the season? What was your biggest satisfaction for you personally?
How much effort I put in because I wasn't offered a contract at the start of the season, and then I just concentrated and I put so much hard work and dedication, and I was very disciplined with myself, with what I ate, with how hard I trained. So I'm very satisfied with how hard I worked.
Okay, all right. Well, I don't want to take up too much of your time. I want to
Yeah.
thank you very much. Good
Thank you.
luck
Thank you.
next season. We'll be staying in touch and making sure that all the good things that you're doing is made public and make sure that you get the coverage that you need. All right.
Yeah.
Uh,
Thank you so much.
yeah.